Well, hey, all you rock stars, what is really going on? You're indeed on the winning walk with Christina, and I'm out here moving and grooving. Gonna walk up to the store today and get a few things. Not gonna take you in the store because it gets kind of loud, but I hope y'all are having a good start to your week and enjoying the end of summer that is just not too hot for you. The Lord is showing grace and favor on us right now because it's not too unbearably hot. We haven't seen the century mark in a couple of days, and I'm excited about that. It just feels so nice. Look at my neighbor's yard without showing anything else. It's just lush and green. He just always has such wonderful greenery. He says that for him it's therapy, but and he's a master gardener too, so he knows his stuff. Excellent. But I'm on here today because I had to take a couple of little while to process what I'm going to talk to y'all about because of the experience that I had and how hearing about his recent passing kind of hit me between the eyes. Like it was like somebody that I was related to. I'm talking about Malcolm-Jamal Warner, because of the hour I got to spend with him. It just hurt my heart to hear of his passing. And so I was gonna share some of the things that happened in meeting. First of all, how I got to meet him, spend an hour with him and talk to him. I was part of a choir at the Black Academy of Arts and Letters. What that is a academy near downtown that my old church was involved with. They were looking for like a concert choir / gospel choir to sing backing vocals and things for different albums for the gospel. Some gospel artists that would come into town. They would have local churches sing background vocals for their albums or background vocals for their concerts that they would put on at the Black Academy. So I got to meet a lot of the more popular gospel artists. A lot of them would leave the Black Academy sometimes, and they would do concerts and stuff at our old church. So I got to meet quite a few of the giants of gospel music, just singing in the background, singing in their choir. I was on one album where I got to sing with Ruben Studdard and Israel Houghton and several other people do background vocals for them. But that's how I met Malcolm-Jamal. He came to the Black Academy of Arts and Letters and he started doing spoken word poetry, and he did a series for a couple of years called, I want to say it was called Poets and Jazz. But I was there working with the Black Academy's concert choir. There was going to be, I think it was a some sort of civil rights concert, I believe, and we were singing with a couple of gospel artists there. And the Saturday before our concert, we were rehearsing. Well, that same Saturday was when Malcolm-Jamal was doing his first spoken word poetry show. It was him and a couple of other spoken word artists. And so we were upstairs in one of the big halls upstairs practicing, and he was downstairs. And he heard us practicing, and he made his way upstairs. And we didn't know, well, we knew there was a spoken word thing going on, but I knew it was, but I didn't know it was Malcolm-Jamal. I didn't know who it was. I just knew that night there was a spoken word deal. So when he came upstairs and just came in like he was part of the choir, we just lost it. I was like, wait, that's Theo Huxtable. And but I was just looking and I just thought, man, that is just crazy. It is. You're not supposed to be starstruck because celebrities and actors and actresses and, you know, rock stars and all of that, they're famous, but there are people at the end of the day, and you're not supposed to be starstruck. But I tell you, for just a brief couple of seconds, I was just like, you know, because you're not used to seeing household names in public. It just doesn't occur. Oh, I was at Super Target and I saw Theo. Well, no, that ain't how it works. So for a brief flash of an instant, I was stunned. And seeing Malcolm in person was just a different experience. I had no idea that Malcolm was over 6 feet. I don't know what I thought. I don't know what size I thought he was, but I didn't know he was that far over my head. Now, I'm not what I would call a shorty, but I felt shorty when he walked in the room. But he was like, yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt y'all or anything like that, but I just heard the joyful sound downstairs and I just had to come and get a part of this and just see what is going on. And so our choir director was telling him what we were auditioning for. I mean, not auditioning, but what we were practicing for in the concert and all of that. And he said, y'all are ready for whatever it is y'all are trying to do, because y'all sound amazing. Can I hear, you know, a little portion of what y'all are gonna sing? And we was just like, yes. And he said, and our director was like, now we're not trying to keep you from your, you know, we know you practicing for spoken word. He said, oh no, I got time. I want to hear what it is y'all are doing, because this just sounds great. So he pretty much listened to us sing pretty much our whole set, save for a few things. He just sat there and he was just intently listening to everything. A lot of the songs he didn't know because they were written by local artists and stuff like that. But I just noticed his intentions. He was listening to every word, soaking up every note. And it was just he looked like it was very interesting to him, and he was really enjoying it. You can tell a lot by a person by their intentions and how they listen. And he was picking up all sorts of things, because after every song, he was kind of like not critiquing, but he was giving very thoughtful tips. And he's not a choir director as far as I know, but he was giving us what he heard and what he felt as he was listening to each song. And it was just, he was just excellent. I was just like, man, I'm just really, really impressed. So after that, we had ran all the way through it, and he was like, man, I just hate to leave, because it's just, there's a welcoming spirit up here, and I want to hang out a little more. And we were just like, oh no, don't go. We know you have your spoken word and stuff, but now please don't leave. And he didn't. He stayed another good 20-25 minutes, and he said, I just want to hang out with y'all. Can we just rap and talk and stuff? And so he said, anybody want to, because somebody said, Theo. And that was the one thing, when they said Theo, that kind of, it didn't annoy him or irritate him, but he was very professional, and he said, you know, I'm known as Theo. That was like a central character, and I will always be grateful for Theo Huxtable, not taking anything away from him, but my name is Malcolm. My name is Malcolm-Jamal, and Theo is one of the parts that I did play, but my name is Malcolm. And so I would prefer that you call me Malcolm. And I just, the way he said it, there was no shade, no passive aggressive, none of that. You understood what he meant when he said it. I'm Malcolm-Jamal. Theo is a role, but I'm not Theo. I'm Malcolm-Jamal. Because, and that was reflective in his career overall. He did not, to me, Malcolm-Jamal never got typecast. I mean, of course, you recognize him as Theo Huxtable, but he played in multiple roles with excellence and movies with excellence. So even though he could have gotten typecasted, the fact that he distinguished himself, the man, from the character was to his credit and benefit, because I don't believe Theo Huxtable, like a lot of different people who play just iconic characters, get typecast and they're never able to be seen seriously in different roles. I believe Theo Huxtable was an asset for Malcolm-Jamal, a foundation that he could build upon to be able to do whatever he wanted. I don't think it hindered him. I think it helped him. And his being able to distinguish between the two absolutely helped him. He's an excellent actor. And so people were like, can I get your autograph? You know, because it was a lot of older women up there at the time, and they were really starstruck. Can I take a picture with you? And so we went in for about 15 or 20 minutes, and we was just doing nothing but taking selfies with Malcolm and pictures and stuff like that. And so it came to the time where I got to take my picture. And instead of standing there next to me, he said, wait, I want to talk to you. And I'm just like, you want to do what? He said, yeah, I want to talk to you. He said, how are you doing today? I said, I'm doing great now. And I meant that. He said, well, good. He said, like I said, y'all sounded really, really good. I said, I appreciate that. I mean, we try. We're just trying to do what the Lord have us to do, and we really, really try. He said, well, it shows. He said that spirit is what drew me up here. And he said, I just want to stay. He said, you are so nice. He said, can I have a hug? And I was just like, what? Well, yeah, I gave him a hug. And he said, okay, now we can take a picture, because yeah, I just want to talk to you for a minute. I said, okay. And so I took the picture that I'm gonna show in my thumbnail with him. And I was kind of standoffish a little bit. And he said, no, come on in, just come on in. Come on and hug, don't snatch away. And I was like, okay. And so, if you can imagine Malcolm-Jamal Warner hugging you and talking to you, looking eyeball to eyeball at you, and telling him how nice you were, telling you how nice you were, and wanting to be around you, if you can imagine that, and if you thought in your head how Malcolm-Jamal Warner would look, feel, smell, yes, and yes. Gorgeous young man. Highly intelligent and intuitive young man. Gifted young man. charismatic young man. Just an all-around nice guy. I mean, so going back and looking at the time we spent with him, in sum total, looking at it, it was a little more than an hour. I'll just say it was the better part of an hour we had with Malcolm. He didn't want to leave, and we didn't want him to leave. It was like it was like meeting a portion of your life that was so beautiful but yet unexpected at the same time. It was like a gift you get that you never saw coming, that made you nervous and filled you with joy at the same time, because it's totally unexpected. Well, I'm sure our choir director knew he was here, but we had no idea. And so when he came up, the whole room lit up. And from that moment forward, we sang. If we wasn't sounding good or on pitch, we sounded like the Tabernacle Choir of Heaven. And by the time he left, we were absolutely in awe, and we loved Malcolm. I mean, even with the surprise, we absolutely loved him. He was just so special, so complimentary, but also very intuitive with the things that he taught us and told us. I mean, things that to this day I haven't forgotten. I mean, he was just an all-around cool guy. So when I heard of his passing, it tore me up like he was a baby brother. And I just really didn't know, excuse me y'all, I didn't know what to make of it. Didn't know where to put it, and I still don't know where to put it. It hurt me to my heart. He just seemed to me young, but that's because I'm old. It seemed to me he was just, I hate people to say gone too soon, or he was too young to go. And God decides the day of the hour. He really does. So you're not too young and you're not too old. You go when the Lord says time to come home, you go. But if you had to ask me who I thought this year wouldn't see another year, the last person I would say is Malcolm-Jamal. I mean, it just hit me right between the eyes and kind of knocked me a little bit. He just was a nice guy. I will forever be grateful for the time that I got to spend with Malcolm. I mean, collectively as a group, but then one-on-one. It was just cool looking up to somebody you only seen on TV before and talking to him face to face like I'd known him my whole life. He just made everybody in the room feel like that, collectively and individually, and that's a gift. That's a gift. He was just a really cool person, creative person, and I'm just gonna miss him. I'm grateful for the time that I did have with him. It wasn't but an hour, but it was the coolest hour ever. And since then, my family has heard that story a gazillion times. I want to say his first Poison Jazz was 2008-ish, something like that. And so my family had been hearing that story forever and a day, because they were just like, my mom was just like, Not Theo. I said, oh yeah, Theo. I met Theo tonight. She was like, you've got to be kidding me. And I showed her the picture and she was just like stunned. The rest of my family was stunned too. And it was just such a cool experience. Really, really cool. So, yeah, God rest his soul. I pray for his wife and his daughter and his mom and the rest of his family. What they're going through, the grief has to just be really something. If Malcolm-Jamal was that impactful to us and we spent an hour with him, imagine growing up with Malcolm and knowing him over the course of his lifetime. You know, imagine what his wife and his daughter and his mother must be dealing with right now. It's got to be a lot. Like I said, Malcolm was just a great guy all around. If you could find somebody that famous, that was that down to earth, and who was truly thoughtful and caring, you have really found an anomaly, a rare person. And Malcolm was that rare person. He just seemed all around like one of the coolest guys you could ever want to meet. And so that was my experience. That was my 1 hour with Malcolm-Jamal Warner. I enjoyed it, and I appreciate you rock stars for listening. And I will put this up and share it with y'all. Enjoy it. Honestly, I've met quite a few people, and I could speak on them as well if you're interested. But yeah, this is my story for Malcolm-Jamal. Y'all have an amazing rest of your week, rock stars.